Hello everyone, welcome back. This is the Around the World of Cricket, and on Around the World of Cricket, we have featured a lot of cricket tournaments and several of the other international cricket features. But today we're going to work upon something that's really come through and it's extremely exciting. Yes, I am talking about the ILT20, and I've got the CEO of ILT20, quite the man, has been the CEO of New Zealand cricket, and most importantly was on the New Zealand cricket tour to Pakistan in the 90s. A player transformed into CEO. You inspire me, David. How's the journey been? Welcome on the show.
Oh, thank you very much. Well, firstly, it would be remiss of me not to firstly congratulate you on a wonderful career. Um, you've been an absolutely amazing cricketer, amazing person, and I just want to congratulate you. Firstly,
Thanks.
my journey is a little bit different. I played cricket, first class cricket, for 15 years in New Zealand. I was lucky enough to play a few test matches for New Zealand. Probably unlucky to face Waka and Wasim in those test matches as an opening batsman, but that was fine. While I was playing cricket, I went back to university and did a full-time accountancy degree. And at the end of that, I was involved in rugby administration for 15 years. And after that, I was lucky to be selected as the CEO of New Zealand Cricket, which I did for 12 years. Many of those years you played. I only finished over a year ago. So now I've changed sides, if you like. I'm now involved in the league, and really excited with the opportunity in the UAE.
You've got 6 teams in IL20, and it's going to be coinciding along with the SA20 tournament as well. And there are quite a few leagues doing the rounds. If we can say IPL is probably at the top of it, and a few other rung leagues are coming through right now. And when you're looking at the world cricket as a whole, are these leagues a bit of a threat for world cricket in general, for international cricket, if I may say so?
Well, I think the first thing people have got to acknowledge is that T20 cricket financially has saved cricket. It's been amazing, and what has happened in the IPL and the broadcast numbers and the revenue that we've been able to get out of India has meant that cricket has never been in a more healthy financial position. So I think that we're going through a really interesting transition at the moment. I personally think that they can coexist. I think that what you'll find in years to come, my personal view is that you'll have 4 or 5 very strong leagues around the world. Of course, the IPL will be the pinnacle. So players will probably be contracted to one league or one franchise. They'll play international cricket, um, and they'll play an annual ICC event. And I think what I think is really important, though, I think is that the international cricket that is played must have context. It must be relevant and exciting for the fans. So I think that cricket is in an amazing place, and it's never been better to be a professional cricketer. The revenue that people can generate around the world. So I think it's a fantastic time.
That's a true CEO making a speech on how cricket can coexist. But David, there are some really interesting facets in the ILT20 that we will discuss about. You said both crickets can coexist, but most importantly, there was a line where you mentioned there must be context to international cricket at this point of time. You have an ICC event every single year, which could be the T20 World Cup, the 50 over World Cup, the Champions Trophy, which you're going to see in some time. How exactly do you create context around this? And then there's the WTC that's going on as well. How do you create context around this?
Yeah, it is a challenge, and Ash, the big challenge is how do you fit in a World Test Championship as well? That is a challenge. But I think that I quite liked it previously when to qualify for the Cricket World Cup, the 50 over competition, that the leading up to that, you had to qualify and be one of the top qualifying teams. Unfortunately, that point system doesn't exist anymore, and it's solely on rankings. So I think administrators need to provide context in terms of every match that's played in bilateral cricket. It's got to have some meaning leading up to qualification and meritocracy in some form.
It's more like you probably going to school and passing out grades after grades, and then going on to specialize in something. All right, let's skip right back into the IL20. I found a couple of things very interesting, and the top of it is the kid in me that's coming out. The way you created these championship belts right? All those people who are involved in, I mean, all those kids from my generation especially loved watching WWF and later turned into WWE. And these championship belts are something that you have revived through the ILT20. Who was the inspiration behind this? Whose idea was it? And just talk us through that a little bit.
Well, I think it was the idea of a couple of guys that work at ILT20, Venki and Webb, if they came up with the idea. And it's become quite a thing now. So the players now, at the end of a game, if you're the leading run scorer or wicket taker, you put the belt on, you take a photo, and it's on social media. And it's become quite a thing. It's a pretty cool thing, actually. And it's really growing momentum now. So hopefully, the fans in India and around the world will be following that this summer.
I think you should have a ladder match as well. That was quite popular in those days. So I think you should consider doing a ladder match. Once a team wins, you climb the ladder and pick up your belt from there. Anyway, the other fascinating thing, and also something that I think you should talk us through about, is player loyalty. You've got 6 franchisees, out of which 3 of them are IPL owners, and then you've got some other 3 teams which are Sharjah. Can you take us through
Sharjah Warriors.
Sharjah Warriors, the Desert Vipers,
right.
and
Desert Vipers,
yeah. So these 6 teams fight it out for the crown. But most importantly, what struck my eye first was the 9 overseas players that you can play in a particular team. It's basically each team is a team of superstars. You've got 2 homegrown players, which are the UAE players, which gives you an opportunity for 12 local players to be featuring in the league. How exactly does this work out? Do you want to eventually phase this out into more UAE players getting opportunity to play? How is it in relation with UAE cricket? Where do you want to position this?
Well, I think it is unique. So you got 9 overseas players, so the standard's very high, as you could imagine. And if you look at some of the players that we have got, you're going to be very familiar names: Andre Russell, Sunil Narayan, David Warner, Nicholas Pooran, who I think is the best T20 batter in the world at the moment. And this year joined with the likes of Tim Southey, Fakhar Zaman, Lockie Ferguson. So really good players. So the standard's very high. But in terms of the UAE players, already we've seen a big benefit of those players playing with these players. Already last season, they qualified for the first time in 8 years in the Asia Cup T20 competition. And I think that over in the years to come, of the 11, there'll be more than 2 UAE players. I mean, that's got to be the aim long term, to have more and more of them playing. But it's fantastic for UAE cricket, and I think that strategically over time, this league will develop into not just a UAE, but it will be the wider region as well. I think that's strategically that's the way it'll be heading.
When you say the wider region, what exactly are you looking
for? Well, I think that there's a tremendous growth in Kuwait, Oman, Saudi Arabia, Qatar, the whole Gulf region. And I think that in the years to come, my personal view is this will become a league of the region.
Oh wow, that's wonderful to hear. I mean, coming into the tournament itself, you've got 2 seasons that's gone by. You've got MI Emirates that have won a tournament, franchisee owners in the IPL. Do you already see them getting a head start in terms of the other franchises because they have an experience of running these teams? How exactly do you see that? And is there a way that ILT20 themselves would handhold some of these owners?
Certainly, the IPL teams are very experienced, and we've got KKR as well, who did very well last year as well. I think that after 2 years now, we're getting more experience. Desert Vipers. Very experienced, great coach as well with Tom Moody, so they've got a lot of experience. But I think year 3, with the depth of quality of players we've got, it's going to be very competitive. And of course, as you know, the facilities are fantastic in the UAE. 3 really good cricket stadiums, and the beauty for the players is they don't have to fly anywhere. They're based in a hotel, beautiful hotel for a month, have their families there as well. And it's only a bus trip away from the venues. So you don't get that fatigue, the travel fatigue, like you do in other leagues. And they keep nice and fresh. And I think the quality of cricket will be very high.
There are a few things, obviously, that our audience can really benefit from. is where exactly they can catch the cricket on IL20, because it's going to clash with another T20 tournament. And what exactly is the prize money? How exactly do you get these players? Are they drafted in? Are they auctioned? Can you take us through some of those, please?
Well, firstly, you can, for your viewers, they can all watch it on the Z platform and Z5 online, and around the world. We've got a number of channels, including YouTube on the Z channel. So, what's quite interesting about Z is that it's a different broadcast market to some of the other ones. So, we're introducing cricket to more people, and last year of the audience, 50% were female. And we've also done a great deal with Dream 11 as well. So people can participate in the Dream 11 games. So
Wow.
wide exposure in India. So that's for the first time this year, who you'll be very familiar with as well. In terms of, this is the third year of competition, and we haven't had a draft. So it's been an opportunity where people can go and contract players direct. We're going to review that at the end of the year, but it's worked well. There's been a lot of competition for players, but I think that we'll have a full review after 3 years, but it's going particularly well. Yes, we do clash with a couple of leagues, but the fact that we've got 9 overseas players gives a tremendous opportunity for, not just the international superstars, but also some very good first-class cricketers, and also some young aspiring cricketers can play. For example, Fraser McGurk played last year and made a big impression. So hopefully we can have some of the young guys coming through as well and making their name in ILT20.
Could you then safely say that this is a platform for people to be able to push on to higher honors, especially with the international cricketers, to maybe an IPL scout getting a view as to what these players are doing at a higher level? Is that where you would like to position the league as such?
Absolutely. Like I was saying, that whilst we'll have the Warners and the, Andre Russells and Sunil Ryans and, Tim Southeys, we still will have the young guys coming through where they can, and the young UAE players as well coming through, where they can really make a name for themselves. Global audience.
Sorry to interject there, David. Do you have any particular names, like you mentioned, Jake Fraser Megha came through the ranks? Do you have any other names that you've been particularly excited over the last couple of years that have caught on the attention?
Yeah, there's some really promising young UAE cricketers. You're going to catch me out with names, aren't you? But there's a young left-arm spinner called Ayan Khan. He was 17 when he played his first ILT20. He's really developing into a really solid international cricketer now. And there's other young guys that are coming through and not only playing with the guys, but training with them as well and living with them for a month. And they learn, talk, as you know, you learn as much about the game in the changing room as you do on the field sometimes. So it's a really great learning environment as well.
So the reason I asked that question is I just foresee the cricketing ecosystem to get into a position where T20 cricket is going to be a fulcrum. And as you have these leagues and many other franchises that will be looking out for players, the players increasing in sample size is a very critical factor for the community to grow. And is there a specific reason why you haven't chosen to move away from it? Are you guys competing, or how exactly do you do that?
Well, I don't see it as competition as such, but we do play in the same window. One of the big challenges for world cricket, and we talk about the calendar, is that apart from England and the West Indies a bit, most of the cricket is played in the Southern Hemisphere over that same period of time. So you have pretty much all your countries playing cricket around the same time. It's a great advantage for England, of course, and in the West Indies. So, and of course for the UAE, whilst we're in the Northern Hemisphere, it's just too hot in summer to play cricket. So we play in the winter. So getting that window is a real challenge for world cricket. But it's something that we would like to have our own window going forward, and something we're looking at. Ideally, to have your own separate window would be terrific, but it is a challenge with the time zones.
Right, it is. But I really look forward to the season. I'm going to be, obviously, to all our subscribers and audience, I just want to say that we will be covering the ILT20, and you will be getting some quality footages and some scouting material that you can watch out here. It's going to be pretty critical, I reckon. David, just moving ahead with that. Some of these leagues, like I already mentioned, have owners who are IPL owners and they have the continuity. For example, MI, Delhi, and KKR, they've got vested interest in some of the other leagues. How important is it that these franchises are traveling the journey with someone like an IL20? How critical are those franchises for you?
Well, I think it's very important, and I think it's part of their model, to be quite honest. Like I said before, I really think that if you look at MI, they're with us, they're in America, they're SA as well, and a lot of them are looking to invest in England as well. Um, so I think that, some of these big franchises will probably be involved in 4 or 5 leagues, which I think is a great thing for cricket. I mean, it provides financial stability, it gives comfort for the players. I know we do have a draft system, but if they can develop players, it's got to be great for the world game. And as we develop, like you said, depth and breadth across the cricketing nations, I think cricket will only get stronger.
Right. Since you're the CEO, and I am pretty inquisitive, I can't leave without asking this question, David. The IPL was quite an interesting model when it started, right? Like teams were buying franchises at a really steep cost, which is what it was estimated back in 2008. But 10 years down, and when you cut to the chase, these IPL teams have really invested right and made a great business model out of it. Any business, even these T20 leagues where the franchise model is being pursued, the business model is extremely critical, isn't it? As a CEO, you wouldn't know better than that. Of course, you can keep your numbers tight if you wish to, but I would really like to listen to you from your perspective as to how the business model looks like for the ILT20.
It's a fascinating question because not every league is going to survive. People are they think, a lot of countries think we have a T20 league, it's a license to print money. It's not. I think that leagues will only be sustainable if they've got the appropriate broadcast partner and a big economy. And I think that obviously India has got a big economy. I think the UAE and the greater Gulf region is a big economy. The UK is a big economy. Really interesting with America. Will that sustain? Probably will, simply because of the size of the economy and the large Indian population there as well. So the model is really, really interesting going forward. So I think for some of these big IPL owners, initially some of the leagues won't make money and it will take time to make money. But as a long-term investment, provided the economy is right, provided the league is sustainable and the quality of cricket is good, I think it will be a very good investment long-term.
You reckon IL20 is going to be a really good investing model? And is there like if I had to put you on the spot and say when is the break-even time, when would you say that?
I've got to be careful what I say because this is my personal opinion. I think that where it's going to really boom is when it's going to get bigger and bigger in the UAE. But I think when it's really going to boom is when it expands into the greater Gulf region. So when big economies in that Gulf region will make it quite a spectacular league. It already is within Dubai, Abu Dhabi, and Sharjah, and it's sustainable in that region. But I think in terms of potential, the greater Gulf region could be massive.
India is a very, very big. Let's say it's probably the cricket capital at this point of time. If you want to look at it from a administrator's point of view or even an audience point of view, are you doing anything? Are you by any chance looking to take people over there and allow them to watch these games and probably grab pictures with some of those WWE belts?
Absolutely. What we're doing actually on the Z networks during the game, viewers will be able to win trips to Dubai and the UAE, weekend trips where they'll get flights and accommodation and lovely hospitality. And I know that the people in India travel a lot to the UAE. So our viewers can watch the games, chances to win weekends away. So that's going to be a really exciting new development.
Can you tell us about the window in which the tournament's going to happen and how many people stand a chance to win? And do my subscribers get an opportunity? Do they get an extra chance?
Well, if they watch it on Z, they absolutely can. The window is we start on the 11th of January through to the 9th of February. So it's on the Z channel. So please watch, and viewers can also play on Dream 11 as well. So there's a great opportunity to participate in that as well.
So we're going to be covering all those games, and most importantly, I'm going to get offline and chat with David if we can give some jerseys to some of our audience, and we will try and work that out. Look forward to the tournament this year, David, and all the very best. And hopefully, you will have a great tournament, and we'll have some great features on our channel.
Absolutely. Listen, we will give shirts, jerseys to your viewers, and also if any of your viewers want to come and watch cricket in the UAE, or if they're based in the UAE, we can give them match tickets as well. So we can work through that with you. We'd be delighted to do that. Thank you very much.
That's the first time I've got a CEO to oblige in that fashion. And David, just for the sheer heart of you having to do that, I wish you all the success this year. Look forward to watching the tournament.
Thank you very much. And once again, congratulations on a wonderful career.
Thank you, David. Thank you.
Thank you.